That's, welcome everyone. It's good to see your faces here today. Nice to have your warm bodies in this space so that we can practice this ancient art and science together. I think now more than any time, probably in our recent history, it's more important ever than to hit the mat and to do these type of practices, to really be with our breath, to be grounded in our bodies, to be connected to our hearts, and to be able to expand our minds and open ourselves up, because everything that's been happening in the past couple of years has been contracting. It's like so contracted. So it's like we need this to like open us back up. So with that being said, our theme for today is something that I'm revisiting from a previous class. It's going to be set up differently, but a previous theme that I've done. And I want to tell you how it came to be for today. I've been listening to several people on YouTube. I follow certain people, and it seems like every time I'm listening to what they say, I don't pay the extra money to do without the ads, so I have to deal with the ads. And one of the ads that keeps coming up over and over again is something from Gaia. Gaia is a kind of a network that offers yoga, that offers metaphysical topics, anything from like ancient civilizations to aliens to, you know, psychedelics to pranayama to shamanism, you know, anything along these topics. They have this network. And it's something that they've been promoting, a little show that they have called The Sound of Creation. And when I saw the advertisement, even the first time, it drew my attention. And then I kept seeing it over and over again. So last Thursday night, when we had my son Gabriel, who's a musician, I was like, okay, Rob and Gabe, you have to sit down with me and you have to watch The Sound of Creation with me. And it's like a little mini series, you know, they're only like half an hour a piece. And it's talking about sound and how sound is vibration, right? Energy is vibration. And it talks about all the cultures around the world talk about the beginnings of the world, and the beginnings created with sound, right? Even the Big Bang Theory is sound. It's an explosion of sound. But if you look at spiritual lineages, they say God spoke, or, you know, in the beginning was the word. And it's that word, it's that sound that started to manifest things. So the intelligence behind that was thinking it, but it took verbiage, it took action somehow for it to come into fruition. And so then it goes on to talk about a certain man who realized that when certain sounds and tones and frequencies were played, he could put sand on a plate. It was like a certain kind of plate, but sand on top of it. And you may have seen some of these images before, and then they'll play certain songs or certain frequencies or tones, and the sand will separate and create these beautiful like kaleidoscopic shapes. So then it goes on more metaphysically speaking, quantum physics speaking, mathematical geometry. It starts talking about how everything is mathematics and everything is sacred geometry. And it talks about how sound was really important for, think about when we weren't societies, we were tribal units. Think about tribes, right? They would have like drumming, right? That was like the first like instrument is the drumming, and they would create ceremony out of it. They would create ritual out of it. And so that's very important. Sacred sound, sacred rituals, sacred circles. So there was a man that moved here from California, and I'm jumping all over the place, but it's going to come together. That moved here from California, and he really is a famous drummer. He plays for a lot of people. He records. He's on a lot of albums. And we went out to eat with them one night, and we went out to eat with them. His wife and I are engrossed in conversation. He and Rob were engrossed in conversation. And then eventually our conversations finally started to mix when he heard that I was a Reiki practitioner. And so that interested him, and he was like, hey, I did Reiki once and had a really great experience. It was this lady in California. And that started kind of this metaphysical conversation. And then Rob spoke up and said, hey, Erin, I've noticed in the studio, you don't use charts. How are you not using the charts? And you're nailing it every time. And he said, because I see music and shapes. He gets a visual of shapes when he hears music. And so I was floored at that moment where I was watching that show, because it took me back to that conversation and that drummer. And I'm like, Rob, you got to tell Erin he's got to watch this. This is going to make sense. He says, I don't know why I see shapes. And his wife spoke up and said, yeah, and I just learned about it. We've been together over 20 years. So he's capable. He's tapped into something in his brain. And it's something that they're studying now in science. And anyway, it's just really cool. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to talk about one of the sacred geometric shapes, which is a circle that could also be a sphere, right? We've talked about a triangle before, which is also a sacred geometry, which also goes back to the pyramid. But I want you to think about how a sacred circle represents completeness, wholeness. It represents eternity, infinity. It represents unity. It represents communion. It represents community. So there's no beginning, there's no end. It's secular, it's not linear. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be doing some circling motions with our body. And we have ball and socket joints at our hips and shoulders. So we're going to be making circular movements there. And then we're going to end up making a sacred circle, if you're open to it, at the end. So you'll definitely need a blanket for the sacred circle. And we're going to have a block close by. So have that beside you, and we'll start on our backs. Take a moment to recline down. Separate your feet and let the feet flop open. I would suggest resting the hands just lightly on the belly somewhere. It can be high or low. But let your upper arms rest. And close your eyes. A moment just to feel the ground beneath you. And then I want you to scan down through your body, beginning at your head. Ensuring that you're softening your face. Letting all expression fade away. Softening the brow, the flesh surrounding the eyes, the cheeks, the interior and the exterior of your mouth. Soften your shoulders, your chest, your belly, and your back. Relax the buttocks, the front and the back side of your legs, as well as the soles of your feet. And as you were scanning down to check in and to relax the body, notice if you felt any areas that may have been sticking up or a little tense, tight, or pained. And I want you to send love to that area, and I want you to remember to set your intention to practice with compassion for those specific areas today. Not forcing anything. Now, what we can force, though, is the breath. So in this moment, I want you to notice just the in and the outflow of the breath, just through observation. Maybe deep, it may be shallow. If it's deep, you don't really have to change much, but if it's feeling fairly shallow, I want you to improve the quality of your breath. Allowing the belly to rise as you breathe in, and allowing it to fall as you breathe out. We know that when we experience movement here in the core of the body, that we are breathing better and more optimally. And a great way to connect to this diaphragmatic breathing is to be reclined on the mat so the body can relax, so that you can allow for this movement. And the challenge comes in when we start to move the body, when we sit up and strike these poses. Can we still send the breath down deep into the belly? This helps to reduce stress. This helps to increase the production of our digestive tract. This helps us to process and wash out emotions. On your next in breath, I want you to sail the arms up overhead. And then I want you to rotate your wrists several times one way, maybe about 5 to 7 times one way, and then taking it in the other direction. Now relax the arms down, walk the feet closer together, and inhale, sail the right leg skyward. And I want you to hook your hands behind your thigh. And at this point, I just want you to rotate your ankle. Notice it doesn't necessarily become one perfect circle either, does it? Can't you feel the tightness somewhere in your ankle? Mine's moving to the outer edges. And then reverse those circles. And then power the sole of the foot to reach up towards the ceiling, even spread the toes. And then at this juncture, you can try to find your edge of flexibility with your hamstrings. So some of you might be able to slide your hands up to your calf. You may be able to take a hold of your foot, but don't force that action. Just see what's available. Don't judge it as being good or bad or right or wrong. Just do enough. And know that you are enough. Take one more deep breath. And then allow the hands to spill back down. Flex through the ankle. Lead with your heel. And very slowly but surely. Slowly but surely. Send the leg down. Now, the slower you go, it's going to fire up the lower abdominal muscles, and it'll also strengthen the hip flexor. And then once the foot taps down, it can relax. All right, inhale, sail the left leg up. Catch the leg with your hands. Start rotating the foot, circling it around and around. Maybe go a little bit slower in those tight areas, and then reverse it. And now power the sole of the foot to face up to the ceiling, spread the toes even. Maybe play that initial edge of flexibility, see if you can slide it up to the calf or towards the foot. Breathing with depth and control. And then affirming internally within, left and right, and all around. Life's harmonies are truly mine. That affirmation is a strong statement of trust. Trust in the divine order, trust in the divine plan, trust in divine timing. Release the hands down and flex through the ankle in very slow motion, sending the foot down. And just know that you're strengthening at the same time. And then when the foot lands, obviously you can relax the foot and soften the knee. All right, now we're going to bend the knees, bring the feet flat to the floor, and we're going to start off with abdominal breath flow. So circle the arms overhead. When the arms track alongside your ears, you're also pressing through the feet, lifting thighs, hips out of the chest. The chest is lifting up towards the chin. And then as you exhale, bring the arms around and slowly lower down to the sacrum. Inhale, pressurizing the feet as the arms circle overhead, as you lift up to open the front body and to strengthen your back body. And as you exhale, slowly roll it down. And once you flatten down, inhale, you're rising right back up. So you're just doing this with repetition. Try to keep grounded on the mound of the big toes so that you're activating those inner quad muscles. There's 4 of those that travel down the front of the thigh. And there's one that tends to be a little weaker that attaches to the inner knee. And when we push down through the mound of the big toes to keep the knees more narrow, it's going to strengthen that inner quad, which stabilizes and strengthens the knee as well. Do 2 more. Feel free to use either the diaphragmatic breath or even the Ujjayi breath, where you hear the sound coming and going as you constrict the back of your throat. All right, this time we're going to lift up, but we're going to put the block underneath us. So once you tuck and lift the tailbone, the block will slide under the sacrum and you'll just take rest on it for a moment. Remember that block can turn 3 different heights, low, medium, and high. Pick what serves you well. And then inhale, fly your left leg up. This is a form of elephant pose. Now this kind of mimics the elephant's trunk. Think about how the elephant's trunk is often kind of swaying and dancing around. So we're going to lean the leg off to the left side, keep it straight, and you're going to dip it down towards the floor, but not to touch. And then it circles around and pops right back up to where you started. The exhale takes it down and around. Inhale to the top. Again, it's not a perfect circle. It's almost like a semicircle. So this motion is stemming from the hip, even though we're operating the whole leg. Now sail the leg up in the air, pause here, breathe here. And notice the leg may start to feel a little heavy. You may start to feel a little slight quivering with those muscles waking up. And then exhale, land the foot down. Inhale, right leg up. Pause at the top. And then take the leg off to the right side, swoop it down. And then inhale, lift it right back up over the body. Exhale, sweep it down and around. Inhale to the top. I'm getting a lot of popping in my right hip. They say that popping is just air being released from the joints, but I know that's not it in my case because my pelvis keeps wanting to twist. All right, inhale up to the top. Hold and breathe. And then exhale, land your foot. Now close the eyes, open your palms, and open up the breath of life. This pose is good for the thyroid, parathyroid glands. It's good for the spleen, which purifies our blood. It's good for the heart. It's a good sedative for the mind. And so as this begins to calm the mind, add in or plug in this affirmation. I offer every thought as a bridge to divine grace. I offer every thought as a bridge to divine grace. Now press down through the feet. Inhale, tuck and lift. Use the hand to slide the block away and gently roll it down one vertebra at a time. Catch your knees. Hug them in. Apanasana, wind release pose. Oh, doesn't it feel good to be flat on your back right now after being lifted in those bridge poses and being stacked on the block? Just enjoy this feeling. And it feels so good after just being on that block and doing those few exercises. This is why I say this is a good pose to practice if you're on your feet all day. Maybe that's your career. Maybe that's on vacation. Maybe that's having to stand in long lines for a long period of time. Maybe it's being out in the evening with high heel shoes or walking cobblestone streets. Remember, this is very nurturing to the low back. Take one more deep breath. Now roll over to your right side. Push down through your left palm to come up. You might want a blanket under your knees because we're going to go to tabletop position. Your mat may be thick enough where you don't need it. So just test the waters there. Your knees are stacked under your hips and your wrists up underneath your shoulders. We're going to lift the right knee to the side. And we're going to trace circles with the knee, even though that action stems from the hip. So think about your knee just drawing a circle and then reverse it. Good, lower the right knee down, pick up the other one, and do the same thing. Circle around. Notice by chance if there's a catch on one or the other side. And reverse it. It's just good information to know about yourself, about this vehicle that's taking you from one place to another. All right, and then descend the knee. When you're ready, drop down onto the top of your thighs and onto your belly and come down to your brow. Slide your hands up underneath your shoulders, lengthen both legs, press down through the top portions of the feet, squeeze through the buttocks, and inhale, rise to Bhujangasana. It could be a low cobra, it could be a medium cobra, it could be a king cobra. Just check in with your back. Utilize your legs, utilize your glutes. And then exhale, gently roll down to the brow. We're going to do 2 more of those. Lengthen your legs back. Contract your knees, contract your glutes. Inhale, roll it up, Bhujangasana. Find your level that you want to be at today. Again, no judgment if it's right or wrong, good or bad. Exhale, gently lower. All right, we're doing one more heart opening. Shoulders roll back, legs lengthen back, feet stay stationed to the floor. Rise up, open the heart, open your throat. Find somewhere to concentrate your eyes. And then exhale, roll back to the breath. Inhale, push up to all fours. Exhale, back into extended child pose. Let your hips lengthen back towards your heels. Your arms be outstretched. And then flip your right hand open. Slide it back towards the foot. Follow your hand. So turn to look at the right hand as it slides back. Inhale, pick up the right arm. Lift your hips away from your feet. Reach that right arm over beyond that tabletop. And then exhale, slide it back like child's. Good. Inhale, lifting up and over. Good. Exhale, slide it back. One more. This time, take child's. Flip your left palm open, slide it back alongside your left knee, turn your head to look towards the hand, Hasta Drishti. Then shift forward with your whole body, reach that hand beyond your tabletop, and then exhale, slide it back. This time when you circle over, you'll land in tabletop position, curl your toes under, and launch into Adho Mukha Svanasana, your downward facing dog. Apply pressure down through your palms, stretch back through your arms, your back. Lift high up through your sits bones, bow your head between the arms. And on your next in-breath, travel the feet forward to the top of the mat. Bow over in half to your Uttanasana or dangling position. Maybe even nodding your head. So just imagine the upper body is just like water cascading and pouring down over the legs. Every time you exhale, feel the crown of the head gravitating just slightly lower. Affirming as you hold, not thinking no one on this earth can hold me down or back. On your next inhalation, take the arms to your sides and up overhead. When the arms lift up, you're going to separate your feet a little bit wider. You're going to lean to the right side and then spill down to past the feet. Reach the arms off to the left and inhale up to the top. Exhale to the right. Circle it all the way around. One more time. And then once you're at the top, reverse it to the left. Swoop down past the feet, come up through the right side. And do that twice more. And then from here, hands together, feet together, hands to heart. Bend the knees, sit back with your hips. Your right hand is going to flex to the side. You're going to inhale, lift it up, back stroke the arm, your gaze can follow. And then as you exhale, you're swooping it down. Inhale to the top. Last one. Then to the left. Same idea, inhale, lift it up, back strokes the arm, exhale, swoop it down and around. We're trying to just open up the range of motion here in the shoulders. Trying to prevent any frozen shoulders. Last one. Good, then standing at the top of your mat, hands to prayer position at your heart. Let the arms circle wide and overhead to upward worship. Exhale, close down into Uttanasana. From your Uttanasana, we're inhale, stepping back into plank. And we're gonna drop the knees and inhale, set the right leg, extending it off to the right side and flattening that foot to the floor. All right, pick up your right hand, flare it open to Stargazer. Hold and breathe. Exhale, bring the right hand down. Your left toes can be tucked or untucked, either way, but you're gonna start to lean back like child's. Inhale, rock up again. Exhale, be here. Inhale, take it out and up, stargazing. And just think for a moment about how the circle and the sphere shows up even in the universe, right? The shapes of the planets. And the fact that the planets orbit and circle around the sun. Exhale, hand down. Inhale, rock up. Exhale, right knee down. Inhale, left leg to the side. When you're ready, open up into that twist, stargazing. Holding and breathing here. Exhale, lower the left hand. It's getting warm in here, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Lean back. We have a hot flash.
It could be. It is.
I can't tell anymore. Is it me or is it
on.
the space?
You wear real.
Inhale, come forward.
You know it's you. It's coming from the inside.
Take it out of it. That is true. Yes. Thought from the outside in is the inside out. Yeah. Lower that hand and then shift back. Inhale, rock forward, lower the left knee, and you're returning to downward facing dog. Now we're going to step through to the top of the mat. So you can meditationally walk or you can lunge, whatever you prefer. Once we return to your Uttanasana, inhale, the arms reach out and up to upward worship. Exhale, hands to belly. All right, we're going to step way back with the right foot. Yeah, when you take that kind of giant step back, turn your toes just enough so your torso can turn towards the front door and straighten the left leg. Good. Hang your right hand back, lift your left arm skyward. And as you exhale, we're going to circle the left hand down first. Stack to the shin, and the right arm's going to reach over the ear. Inhale, draw it up. Let your lower body stabilize you. Remember, that's your foundation. And let the movement be from the waist up. One more. Inhale. Open up the left side body. And then exhale, you're going to hold your triangle. I know we're not talking about the triangle today, but that's another sacred geometric shape. All right, inhale when you come up, keep your arms wide open. Exhale, you're going to lunge the knee. And if you can, if your knee crosses past the ankle, just slide your left foot further ahead or your right foot further back. Good. Taking that warrior two position. And then inhale, reverse the warrior. Right hand back, left arm up. Exhale to side angle, propping to the knee. And that arm can shoot straight up or it can cross over the ear like you did in triangle. Either way, lower body stays stable. Inhale, reverse the warrior. Exhale, side angle. We're gonna do one more for that power of 3. Well, it was Tesla, I believe, that said the secret to the universe within mathematics is 3, 6, 9. And then straighten that front leg. All right, let's turn that left foot in and let's revolve the right foot to face the back of the mat. And then look at your back foot. You either want it to be parallel or toes just sliding in just a bit. So Linda, kick your left heel back more. But more like that, and then your right foot will turn. Yes. I'm just looking at all your feet. Okay, because that's important, since that's our foundation. If the feet aren't set right, it can lock in the knees or it can pinch the hips. We don't want that. All right, inhale, right arm up. Exhale, you're gonna rainbow down to triangle, Trikonasana. Good, inhale, build it up. Old school style triangle. And then exhale, more modern triangle. Beautiful, do one more. And then you're gonna pause in your triangle. Thinking about the 3 points. And then it represents mind, body, spirit. Inhale, draw it up, keep the arms wide open, lunge the right knee. And then if you need to widen the stance between the feet, you can. You may not need to since you did earlier. Good, holding your warrior 2. Being grateful for the strength and the stamina that you have. And then flip your right hand, reverse the warrior. And exhale, take side angle. Inhale, coming up. And then do one more. And then affirming as you hold the side angle, I am a fountain of boundless energy and power. And then inhale, draw it up. Now turn that right foot in. Turn the left foot back to the front. And you should be able to step to the front of that. Okay. All right. I would like this to set up in the sacred circle. So with that being said, we're going to create the circle here. If you do not mind being in the video, be next to me. If you're out on the sides, you're not going to be in it, okay? And whoever's sitting closer to the computer, you can be here and here, just so that they can at least see what I'm doing, because they're going to need to do some poses too. So let's kind of make way, bring a blanket, and you want to fold it in half like this, so it kind of looks like a little pillow in a way. And then you can meet me here and we'll create the circle.
So circles right through here.
Yeah, the circle, one
In front of
person
you.
is gonna be on either side, so yeah, Bev, if you wanna be beside the computer there.
Oh, boy. Okay. Sorry about that.
I know you're not. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, that's all. All right, can we scoot Heather in? Linda and Mary in. Oh, better, yes, okay. See, and it's just you guys with me here, so thank you for being my volunteers. Straighten your legs. Okay, so some of you have done this with me before. And what I want you to consider when we're in the circle again is what it represents: wholeness, unity, community, communion, eternity, infinity, oneness. Okay, so we're going to be doing some group poses. We haven't been able to do this in quite a number of years. So we're going to flex the feet. We're going to push down through the thighs. We're going to lift the arms up. And I want you to, usually I say when you're more individualized on your mat, we usually say, keep your eyes to yourself, right? Keep your eyes on your own mat, keep your focus on your own body. But that's not going to apply as much with the group posturing, because I want you to see the beautiful shapes that we're making. And it looks almost like a kaleidoscope in a way. And you guys at home, you're just going to do the individual poses. As you exhale, we're going to fold into Paschimottanasana. And for today, just kind of keep the head up and look at the shape. Look at the variety, right? The world is so beautiful in the fact that there is variety. It's okay if you can't touch your feet. That's not the goal of yoga. Inhale, let's bring the arms up. Active Dandasana. As we exhale, let's all bring our arms straight down, flex the wrists as they pass your hips, and you're gonna lean into your palms. Good, keep looking at the shape, keep looking around the circle, point the toes, see the beauty that we're creating here together, and then press down and tuck and lift. Purvottanasana, and if you wanna look at the circle, I know this is a hard pose, this is not the most gentle pose. Exhale, gently lower, sit back down. All right, bring yourself back up, Active Dandasana. Exhale, fold forward. This is as close as we get to synchronized swimming. Synchronized yoga. Feel the work in your hamstrings, working with the root chakra. We've all been having to do a lot with this energy field, because our whole foundation in our families and our work life and our communities and society and the world at large has been shaken. Inhale, bring the arms up. Good, exhale, let's just bring the hands down. We won't go back into that. We are, though, going to bend the knees and have the feet apart. Now, let's squeeze in just a little bit, you and I. Okay, you guys look fine. So the arms are going to come to the inside, and we're going to balance. We're going to assist each other with balance with a blossoming lotus. Blossoming lotus looks typically like this, right? But we go under, and then we hold hands.
Oh boy.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Bring everybody down. Oh, we're just gonna go down again.
Go for 10.
Yeah, that's okay.
We hold you up, don't worry.
And so now we're supporting each other in the balancing position. We've got some padding for our sits bones. We're supporting each other, so we're not having to, fight or force the balance. Those of you at home who probably are gripping in your belly, but it does help to flex the feet, and it does help to bloom up through the chest. And I just want you to look around at the shape. It's really pretty. And this is our creation that we're creating together.
Jen say take pictures.
Every time I do this, which is not often, I always think, I wish I had a camera and an aerial view. Yeah, it's really, really pretty. All right, and then we'll really slide your left leg forward and keep your right knee bent. Okay, you're gonna hold that shin or knee with your right knee, or excuse me, left hand, and your right arm is gonna lift. And then as you exhale, we all twist to the right and drop the palm behind our backs. And now slowly turn your head, just your head, and look into the circle. And then look back over the right shoulder. Inhale, let your right arm lift back up, and exhale, circle it back to center. All right, slide your right leg out, bend your left knee, hold it with your right hand. Inhale, elevate your left arm and then twist to your left. Set the hand behind you. Stay in the twist, but slowly turn through your neck and gaze back into the circle. Back across the other shoulder. Inhale, left arm lifts, and then circle it back around in front. Nice. Then we're gonna come on to, you may want to open your blanket up. It's not quite as thick, but we are gonna be on the knees. This is my favorite one. Okay, first of all, look at this. This hasn't happened in a really long time.
Sound good.
I know, should we sing something like that? But I want you to close your eyes and I just want you to feel this touch, to feel this hand hold. To connect to this person's energy as they're connecting to yours. Have gratitude for the fact that we have the freedom to meet here, to commune here, to practice here. And each one of us is part of this community. You are accepted, you are supported, you are loved. And on the in-breath, crack the lids of the eyes open, take the arms up, shift your hips forward and lean back. It's like a sunflower. And then we come back out of camel and we drop over like child. And you don't have to lift the arms very high. Think about your neighbor. You don't know the condition of their shoulder. So don't pull them along. Let them guide you just as much as you're guiding them. And then inhale coming up. Again, don't try to crank them back unnecessarily. Just open your heart up. And then exhale, spill back over and down like child. Do it one more time. Keep the eyes open on the way up. Check out this beautiful shape that we're creating together. And then exhale, coming down to child. This time, release the hands and let your hands release gently beside your feet. Now we just did a few back bends. So breathe into your back body. And gently come up. When you come up, use the blanket the other way again. Sit on it. And we can actually widen the circle just a bit, not crazy amount, but just a little. We're gonna hold some sacred space together. And I'm gonna be playing a song. We have done this in the past. I know Sharon did it in teacher training with us. It's a healing mantra. Heather, you might have done it in Kundalini practices. In fact, Kundalini Rising was the first time I was not introduced to the song, but I was introduced to using the mantra in the sacred circle. I had heard the song before because I love Sanka before, and I had heard her rendition and listened to that song often, but I went to a specific workshop at Kundalini Rising, and it was meant to be a healing circle. And we did a practice, just like we did, and then we arranged ourselves in the circle, and then the music, the mantra was cranked up, and we all started to participate singing. Now, the difference with Kundalini Yoga is they really emphasize a lot of mantra and chanting. So I know in my classes, some of you have done it with me in the past, but we don't do it every week, and you may not be familiar with this mantra, or you may not be as familiar with putting your voice into it. But those of you that know it, please participate, so it's not just me singing. But it's Ramadasa, Sa, Se, So, Hum. And Ra means the sun, Ma means the moon, Da means the earth, Sa means the infinite one, great spirit, God, whatever term you want to put with it. And then Sa, Se, So, Hum is may we merge with the infinite intelligence or the infinite one who created the sun, the moon, and the earth. And so the idea is when we sing this song, we're trying to allow, first of all, us to consider our own healing or someone else's pain or suffering that they need healing with. So you could pass it or think about a loved one, sending it to them. You could also just sit here in the circle and think about sending it to everyone here. And what we do is we bring the arms in like so, kind of the arms are kind of resting on the ribs in a way, and the hands are held out maybe like a 45-degree angle. Palms open is giving and receiving, right? So it's giving and receiving both. There's that there's reciprocity happening while we're doing this. Okay, you can, if your arms get tired, you can rest your hands on your lap. Go ahead and do that for now. Because I want to say the first time I ever did this at Kundalini Rising, there was a percentage of men there. So it wasn't just Denny and Carlos, right? It was like a larger portion of men there. And it was the women that were holding the space for the men. The men were the ones that were brave enough to go into the middle of the circle and lie down because they needed healing, and they sobbed. And it was really one of the most beautiful things I've ever witnessed. Not saying it has to
I'm
be
not
you
doing that
doing
today.
I'm just saying that because even though we know emotions run through both sexes, there's an idea in our society that the men are the rock, right? That don't show the emotion, even though we know that's not the case. But the men are the rock, and the women are the ones that can, be more emotive with our feelings. But we all have the feelings, and that's just why it was a powerful moment for me to witness. So we can raise our hands, we can gaze into the mind's eye, and we're picturing a pulsing pink or green light pulsating from the heart and moving out through our healing hands, sending this to, again, everyone here, or yourself, or a group, right? So if you want to send it to a place across the world, you can. If you know it, feel free to sing out. I'll turn it up so it kind of drowns out our voices a little bit. No pressure, but if you feel like you're really needing to absorb this, you can sit or lie down in the middle of a circle and just receive. You can even picture our ring of trust, our ring of healing wrapping around the planet. Arms get tired, hands get weak. If you're picturing a loved one, imagine them being in the center of the circle. We'll listen to 3 more lines. The final one, bring it home to yourself and wrap your hands lightly over your heart.